Dang, these kids got to be at home again. Oh my goodness, man. Oh, I cannot wait until they open these schools back up. As soon as they open these schools back up, y'all kids is out of here. Yeah, y'all. These are just some of the things that my beloved parents have been saying. Some of y'all, of course, I'm not talking about all y'all. Some of y'all have been saying, whether you're saying it out loud, saying it on social media, you're thinking it real hard, you're writing it down, whatever it is. But guess what, y'all? I am coming on here to challenge you to change your mindset because I truly believe that God is trying to tell you something. God is trying to tell you something. Yes, till you're back to color purple. Oh, yeah, yeah, yes. I truly believe that, you guys. We have been conditioned, I know, as a people, we have been conditioned to having our children in these schools away from us Monday through Friday. And then if your child, they are involved in some type of extracurricular activity, they gone from, some kids are gone from like, it depends if they got to take the bus 6:30, 7 in the morning. You don't see them until 6:30 in the evening, sometimes a little later than that, of course, depending upon what kind of sport they're in or whatever extracurricular they are a part of. But I'm here to challenge you all to change your mindset and to appreciate this time that you have to connect with your child or children. Because I'm here to tell you that, especially for those of us who have our children in these public school settings, in these schools where, especially here in Cleveland, it depends upon, what public school that your child goes to. A lot of these schools, they are, they have mold in the classrooms. You talk about outdated everything. I'm talking about our southern schools where I used to go to, and ain't nothing changed. And in fact, of course, it got worse. But these are just the physical conditions, let alone the fact of if you have those teachers who, quite frankly, don't give a damn. They can't wait, just like you can't wait to push your baby into the classroom. They can't wait to get your baby out of the classroom and out of their hair. A lot of these schools are just babysitting factories. And for us as parents, since we have been conditioned to believe that our kids have to go into these schools to be educated, we have taken away a lot of the power that we have as parents in understanding that we are our child's first teacher. We are the ones who have to make that investment in our children. We are the ones who our children should be looking at when it comes to being educated in all aspects of their lives. But if we continue to have the mindset of, oh, man, I cannot wait until this child grows up, hurry up and grow up, and then they can get out of my hair so that they can go and do what they need to do and be away from me. If we keep having that mindset, then we're going to keep having the same issues that we have all over again, which is what? Our children feeling like they're not loved. They don't feel like they are wanted. They feel like they are a burden. And that's why I said we have to pay attention to Allah, one God, the signs that God is giving us. And I'm talking to my people who are spiritual people, those who worship God, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, or whatever faith that you proclaim, you understand there's a higher power, there's one God that's in control of all. and understanding that everything happens for a reason. It's not a coincidence. And we had this, just like we had the situation during the pandemic, where, of course, our kids were with us for more than just a few days. But we have this time now where we literally, we can do a reset. We can do a reconnect. We can try our best to reestablish those connections with our children, to remind them that they are valuable, they are wanted, they are needed, because all of this is going to help them when it comes to them learning in any situation. Self-worth, loving who they are, believing that they have purpose, feeling like that what they have to bring is valuable. Our kids, they are tired too. They're tired of feeling like they're not wanted. That's why we have a lot of the issues that we have in, whether it's in the schools or whether you're dealing with issues at home. A lot of it is dealing with the fact of they don't feel like that they are welcomed. They're always hearing our commands, right? Did you wash the dishes? Did you do your homework? Clean this up. Do this. Shut up, right? These are things that our kids have been used to hearing. And a lot of it, the reason why we are used to talking to them like that is because we stay in survival mode. We as parents, a lot of us, a lot of you all who listen to me on a regular, you can relate. You know about working and having to make sure that you're doing everything that you can to pay those bills, take care of your children. You got a side hustle. Not only do you work, you may bake on the side. You may make this. You do this. You do nails. You do hair. You cut hair. You know all of this. Plus, you still got a regular 9 to 5 job, and you have to make sure that your children are taken care of, and you're doing this all for them. This is the system that was created like that on purpose so that we continue to drive those folks who created this capitalistic system. This system that's ran on human capital. And us as Black folks, us as brown folks, those of us who come from oppressed communities, we understand that clearly and very well. This is the model of building this criminal enterprise that we call the United States of America. And that's why I'm challenging you. That's why I'm challenging myself, us together. We have to pay attention and take these moments that we are forced in a lot of ways, a lot of us across this country, to sit still with our children right inside of the houses with us. And we can't look at it as, oh man, I need, I need them to go back to the school. They getting on my dang on nerves. They eating up all the food. They being loud, all of these things. And once again, it goes into how we were trained to look at our children. We have been conditioned to believe that our children are a burden to a certain degree. Think about it. Just like, you think about even with the model, that American model. Oh, you have, your beautiful house with the white picket fence and you have 2.5 children. Notice the amount of kids, right? Because you're talking about folks that come from a mindset of not wanting to deal with children. They don't want to have that extra burden. That's an extra mouth to feed, right? And when you think like that, you don't have an abundant mindset, you have a lack mindset. Because the moment you start looking at your children as a burden, then now it's like, oh my God, man. Anytime they ask for something, anytime they need something, whatever, it's like, oh my God, here we go again. We get anxious, we get annoyed. because we've developed a mindset of lack. And that's why when you're talking about a system that was created from folks who have a mindset of lack for real, they didn't have an abundant mindset. They still don't. They have a lack mindset. That's why they always taken from our community, taken from our people. That's why we're dealing with the situation that we're dealing with right now. When folks take from you and they extract and take and suck you dry like a freaking parasite, then you're left feeling hopeless, feeling like you have no energy. And so when it comes to the situation that we're in now, where we're forced to connect and reconnect with our children, then it becomes this bothersome activity in our heads. It's like, oh my God, man, I can't wait to push you out. I can't wait for you to get away from me. And that's why I am challenging you, challenging us to stop and really sit and reflect and think about how we can actually rebuild and rekindle and reconnect those relationships with our children, where we can literally use this time to pay attention to them, to notice things that we never really paid attention to before because we are constantly in this rat race, constantly in survival mode. We always, the moment they got to get out of, we got to hurry up and get them out of school because we got to hurry up and get to work. And then don't let us have to deal with something like our car ain't starting. We got this weather and the car was already tripping. And now the weather is like compounding and adding on to it. So now that's an extra struggle. Now you extra mad, you extra salty. And what happens? That means that now you get a little extra testy. Now you snapping a little bit more. And who winds up struggling or winds up getting the brunt of that testiness, that saltiness? It's our children, the ones that we were blessed with by God, right? Those babies that did not ask to be here, and they are here, and they need us. And I challenge us to start with the most simplest idea, and that is what you see on my shelf: love. Love. That's the first step. Doing everything that we can to be intentional about showing our children love. What does that look like? That looks like trying your best, and it's not going to happen overnight. This is not something where you're just going to make this transformation and all of a sudden now that you start saying, oh, I love you now and everything is, of course it's not. Just like as we see with the snow accumulation, that snow has been coming down steadily, just softly coming out. Sometimes it may have got a little harder, but then from what I've seen, just consistently soft snowfalls. But as we see the consistency, it built up an accumulation where in some places people are seeing 7 feet of snow, or they say some places may get 10 feet of snow. And as we see, it just didn't just happen, within, 2 hours. This is an accumulation over time, right? Span of days, but it's steady and consistent. And that's what we have to have when it comes to our children. And as I'm reminding you, I'm reminding myself, trust and believe. I can relate on a lot of levels, on a lot of levels. And that's why I'm challenging you all to change your mindset and say, I'm going to go back to loving on my children. I'm going to pay attention to them. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to read to them. I'm going to read with them. I'm going to listen to a read aloud with them. I'm going to do things to where we can actually at least try to start something to where now our relationship can get better. Because remember, we have to connect before we correct. A lot of the issues that our children have when they got attitudes, or they feel like they don't want to talk to us, and it feels like, man, it's just so hard to get through with certain things. It's hard for them to learn certain things. It's because of the connection piece. They're not going to learn anything. They're not going to grasp anything if we're just always constantly berating them, going off on them. Or if they always just hear us, again, like I said earlier, giving commands. Go wash this. Go take the trash out. Watch your brother or sister. Go clean that. Go do that. Everything is go, 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 go. Giving directives, all of that. And of course, I'm definitely, obviously not saying that they aren't supposed to have chores or they're not supposed to be told things what to do. And yes, it can be frustrating as a parent where we expect them to do certain things without us keep having to tell them, especially when they get teenagers, right? But again, we still have to be in the business of when we are, even through us giving the commands, let's follow up with making sure that when they do something good, that we compliment them. When you see that your child, for example, if you notice they did something like took out the garbage and you didn't have to say anything, give them a high five. Celebrate them. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. And I know some of you may say, well, why do I got to give them props and high fives for something that they should already be doing anyway? Nobody's giving me high fives and props for raising my kids. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I had a conversation with a young brother at a school, high school that I was subbing at. And I asked him pretty much this question. We were, talking about, some different things in terms of the teenagers' mindsets. And one of the things that he said, he was like, as a teenager, as a young person, he said he would like to hear more celebratory, more congratulatory types of responses from his parents and from adults when he does, or when kids in his age group do something that's good. He said, and that'll help us keep going. And then I tried to, I was coming back on him like, what about those adults who feel like, well, you know what, why should you be congratulated for things that you should already be doing in the first place? And again, this is the mindset of that teenager. And he's like, in his mind, he's like, listen, we still need to get those, the high fives, or I'm proud of you. I'm glad you did this. So what he was saying in that, he was saying that we still need to be affirmed. We still need to be shown and told that I'm proud of what you're doing. Look at you. And when you have a young person who's saying that, what it told me in my mind, I said, see, they're not hearing that enough. Because when you have kids who are already told that a lot, and that's something they're celebrated and all of that type of stuff, that may not be something that they really are looking for, they need. But when you have a young person who's clear and specific, like he was like, I would love to hear more of the adults saying things like, I'm proud of what you're doing. I'm glad you did this. This is great. I'm like, he may not be getting that type of affirming, those affirmations, that celebration in his home. So that's what he needs. And that's what a lot of our kids, and I'm talking in particular specifically for our Black children and brown children, who are in communities that are low income and communities where the families are always surviving, and we're dealing with all of this stuff constantly day in and day out. And of course, it gets exacerbated, especially when you don't have money. Because even you have black folks, you know what I'm saying, and brown folks there in communities, they got money, they still deal with stuff, but it may not be on a very high level. It doesn't seem as much because when you are, financially together, that can kind of soften the blow. But when you're dealing with the financial aspect plus all the racism and all of the ignorance that we deal with, our kids, they feel that energy. They feel that. And that's why, again, like I said, we have to pay attention to the signs that Allah, one God, has been showing us. We got to slow down. We got to pay attention. We got to reconnect. We have to try our best to reconnect those ties with our children. I was talking to my daughter earlier, and she was saying how she was reading on I think it was the Cleveland Remembrance page, and how you had some of the parents talking about, man, you know what I'm saying? These schools closed again. These kids is soft. See, they soft. They should be able to be out here and it's not. Once again, having that mindset, first of all, you telling me as a parent, you feel comfortable with your child, especially your child got to walk or catch the bus. You feel comfortable with your child being at the bus stop right now? Really? Out in this mess? And you got folks, you have a lot of businesses that shut down. Grown folks with cars. So you feel comfortable with your child possibly having to stand at the bus stop or walk to school in this blistery cold? Really? All for what? All for what? To push them again, a lot of times in these schools where the resources, please, the teachers, the buildings, goodbye. I mean, but again, that goes into the fact of us as the parents. When we keep continuing to have this mindset, a lot of that shows a lot of the things that how we view ourselves. Okay? I'm getting, this is real reading talk. I'm getting real. A lot of it has to do with us. Because see, a lot of times when our kids be around us for too long, we get to start seeing who we really are. We get to start seeing our defects. We see a lot of the stuff we get mad at little Raheem about, and for real, Raheem's father, Ahmed, he's seeing how Raheem is, but he really seeing little Ahmed. And he don't like little Ahmed. Little Ahmed remembers when he used to get dealt with in a certain kind of way from his parents. And it takes him back. And he starts to feel some kind of way. And he doesn't like that feeling. And that's why, again, like I said, we have to be in the business if we want to see our children thrive. And I'm talking about in every aspect of their lives. We have to be in the business of showing them love. But before we love them, we first got to love ourselves. We got to be intentional about addressing the wounds, the trauma. Because that's what this all boils down to, for real, for real. That's why anytime, when I'm talking about the issues that we have in our community, as it pertains to reading, as it pertains to these high levels of illiteracy and all of that, that's why I bring in that trauma piece. That's why I bring in when I talk about the post-traumatic slave syndrome. Because all of these things is tied into that trauma. When you are not together mentally, when you have not dealt with whatever issues, it's going to permeate in every aspect of our lives. You cannot escape it. You cannot escape it, but you can escape it. You know how? When you stop and you sit still and you address it. And that's what I'm saying right now. What we can do, we have this opportunity right now. We have this opportunity for those of us, dealing with this issue, dealing with the snow, something that only God can control. Okay. I know folks when they messing with the weather. They can mess with it, whatever they think they can do. But guess what? I know I believe in one God. I believe in Allah, and I believe that Allah controls every aspect of everything. And everything has a purpose. Ain't no coincidences, baby. Ain't none. And this is how we have to address these issues. And in particular, like I said, when it comes to a situation that we're in right now, where our kids, just like I just got the notice, again, school's closed again tomorrow. It's not about no, oh man, they getting on my dang on nerves. Oh my God, I can't wait to push them back out. No, 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 no. Think about ways that you can connect with your children. And in fact, that's what my intention now is to do, is to give you a list of 10 ways that you can connect, things that you can do with your children. I know a lot of you are already doing these things, you're familiar with them. This is not about reinventing the wheel. It's not about grandiose things. It's literally about just keeping it simple. It's about having the foundation of love. When you lead with love, you cannot go wrong. Okay? Number one, you could read a book with your child. Notice I said read a book with them. Talk to your child and say, hey, look, you go grab your favorite book. I'm going to grab my favorite book. Let's set the timer for 30 minutes. If 30 minutes is too long because y'all ain't used to doing that, do 15. You could do 15. Set the timer. And then afterwards, you can ask them if they want to talk to you about what they read, or you can, start telling them about what you read. Or if not, that's okay. But start small. It does not have to be something where you're like, okay, we're about to, we're going to have this on our schedule and this on. Start small. And especially for those of you, this is not something that you're used to doing. And it's hard, maybe a lot harder for you to get your child, especially, they got devices, they got the phones and the tablets. Start small. Number two, you could put a book on audio. So listen to one or a podcast like you're doing here while you guys are cleaning the house together. You can say, okay, you know what? Because I'm quite sure, as a parent, I already know. Okay, I can relate in terms of you like, okay, they home, all right. So I do got a couple of things you can take care of, no problem. They got a refrigerator that you need to clean out. Okay, you can do that. Maybe y'all could do that together, or maybe they may be doing that and you're doing something else in the house where you're cleaning together, and then you have a book on audio or a podcast that you're listening to. Let them choose. Have them choose, like, what would you like to listen to? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you choose which book, and be intentional. Let them know, like, okay, I do want us to, I'm trying to get us to get some more reading in. I need to get some more reading in myself. So that's what I was thinking, that we can listen to a book together. What book would you like to listen to? Okay, that's number two. Number three, play a game. Any game. Okay, it could be a spy game. It could be, I don't like to call it hangman, but the game like hangman. I'm trying to think of another word for it. But any type of, whatever board games you may have. You may have Connect Four at your house, something simple. You may have some card game, got some Uno, something. All right. Do a puzzle together. I'm quite sure A lot of you out there got some kind of puzzle in your house. Do a puzzle together. Okay. Number 5, I put on here. This is dealing with Roblox for my Roblox people out there. Okay. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because my sons and I last week we were playing this Roblox game together, and it's a spelling game. All right. And so that, of course, they gave me an opportunity to be on Roblox with them. You know, I got my little avatar, my little character or whatever. And we're playing a Roblox game together. So it's a little, I forget the name of it. It's something like, again, it's a spelling game. And they know, I love words, reading and spelling, all of that type of stuff. And so they were like, all right, this is fun. We can do that. And I'm like, yeah. And it was so fun. And we were playing that together, something that you guys can do. Okay. Another one, you can bake something together. Now that is something that should be really fun. I'm quite sure a lot of you, you got all the ingredients at the house. I'm quite sure you've already stocked up already what you needed to preparing for this storm. Go ahead and bake something together. You can paint together. All right. So go in your closet, look for those old paints that you probably got packed away from when your babies were little, or for those of you who got little ones or whatever. And these are things that you already have. By all means, please do that. That's something that you guys can do together. Or you can color. If you don't have paint, get some crayons, or if you got coloring pencils, and you guys can color, do some coloring sheets together. All right, make it into a contest and say, all right, we're gonna, make these coloring sheets, and then, you have somebody judging the coloring sheets that y'all got, and then, y'all have a first place, second, or whatever, however you want to do it. But again, the whole point and the purpose of this is for you to think of ways to connect and build that relationship with your children, so that they can feel like, I'm not a burden. My parents do want me around. My mother wants me here. My father wants me here. Or if they're being raised, your kids are being raised like grandparents or step parents. Please show them that you want them here. I'm telling you, it means the world to them, and it is definitely going to affect their psyche. It can make them or break them. Number 9. Oh, no. Number 8. Chase your child around the house. I used to do this. My kids actually, they remember this. They still talk about it every now and every blue moon. They're like, Mommy, remember you used to chase us around the house? I would like, all of a sudden, it was like, I like turned into like this monster. Like, I was just like, we'd be chilling. Next thing you know, I'm like, and then I started like, they start running her, saying, and I'm chasing them, and then everything, and they hide and all that. I'm hiding behind the doors, jumping out, and they had a ball. They absolutely loved it. And like I said, they talk about that to this day. Okay, and I would just literally, just out of the clear blue, of course, I'm not gonna tell you about to play chase. It just be random. I'm just like chilling. Next thing you know, I turn into mommy monster. I'm just chasing them. Do things like that. Okay, just do something on the spur, right? On the fly. It don't have to be planned, because those are the things for real, as we know. A lot of times, those are the things that work. When you just do it on the fly, it's like, oh, okay. So try that. I'm telling you, it works. Number 9, of course, watch a movie or a TV show with your children. This is something that I've been doing in particular. Me and my son Musa, we do this, pretty much every week. We'll watch a movie together. All right. And then me and my other son, Yusuf, and Musa and Yusuf, we'll watch it together. My son Yusuf, he'll be like, it's this show, Mommy, that I think you'll like. Can we watch it together? And I'm like, okay, sure. And so we'll do that. And then, matter of fact, I loved when they introduced Squid Games to me. Because at first, when I saw just one of the episodes of it, it was just like, I saw all this, blood and stuff in there. I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to see all this. And then it was like months later, he was like, "Mommy, I think let's start with the first episode." I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Let's watch the first episode. So when I watched it, I was like, hmm. And they know how my mind works. I'm looking at all the symbolism and all that. I said, oh, okay. I see the capitalism. I see the, all of the ways they're using these people and they're keep dangling this money in their face. And like, yeah, you get this pot of money. But guess what? You got to pass this test. And if you don't, you're going to die. Like, I'm like, damn, sound like this society. I said, I'm all in. And we watched the whole seasons of it. Okay. But what was so dope about it, like I said, not only were we watching the show, then we were applying it to what's going on in our society and having these conversations. All right. And then the last one, of course, you got the snow, right? What you gonna do with that snow? You can't let it go to waste. Go build a snowman, go sledding, snowboarding, whatever. Just have some fun in it, okay? If you could take it, my adults out there, if you can, if your body, if your bones can take it, go ahead and make it do what it do. Because you know, right afterwards, you guys can enjoy a cup of something warm, whether it's cocoa, tea, coffee, whatever the case. All right. So hopefully all of those things help. I know a lot of these things y'all already know. Some of you, some of the things on here, you probably like, oh, wow, I never thought about that. So, with that being said, that's it. That's what I got for you. Again, my intention is for us with this episode is to challenge us to change our mindset, condition ourselves to look at our children more as the asset, the extension of our legacy, the vessel, the empty vessel that we got to keep pouring into so that they can grow up feeling affirmed, loving themselves, and feeling like, you know what? I do belong. I do matter. I'm not a burden. All right. So try to chill with I can't wait for you to get back into the schools. I'm tired of these school clothes. Chill out. Even if the thought comes in your mind, they're getting on your nerves a little bit, and you like, just try your best. Don't say it. And again, think about, what can I do? What can I do as that adult to change the mood in the house? To bring some goodness, to make them feel like, you know what? I'm glad that we have these snow days. I am so happy that y'all did not have to go to school. I missed you. I love you. I love seeing you. You are so beautiful. You are so handsome. You are so smart. Wow, man, we are blessed to have you in our family. Start doing those things, saying those things, keeping it simple. And just remember all of those things, we may think that they're not listening. We may think that, man, they ain't getting it. They sit up, they rolling their eyes, they looking at me like I'm corny or what, like, you corny. Why are you talking like that? So keep talking like that. Because remember, our children, they have to get used to feeling like that they are loved. Because the moment you start changing it up, they're going to start feeling a little funny. Like, what's wrong with them? They don't usually talk like this. Our kids they are brilliant. They figure they listening. They looking like, why she acting like that? Why he talking like that? What's up? But I'm telling you, do it anyway. Just like, as we know, anytime something that is not familiar to you, it's going to seem strange in the beginning. But the more we do it, the more it compounds, the more we're doing it little by little. We ain't got to bring it all on and start doing everything all at once. Just implement, just small things, right? Just again, like I made the analogy with the snow. See how that snow a little bit. Next thing you know, we got 12 feet. Like, damn. Okay. That's how we got to be with our babies. Okay. Little by little by little. Next thing you know, it's just a whole new world. Oh, okay. Let me stop. All right. All right, y'all. I'm out. You all take care. Remember to please keep reading for at least 30 minutes a day. This has been another episode of Real Reading Talk. And y'all, please, please remember that reading is freedom. Peace. Hey, everybody, thank you all again for listening to another episode of Real Reading Talk. I am just here, just trying to help us do the best that we can to become the best version of ourselves. So I hope that that episode was very helpful to all of my families out there. So here's some housekeeping. Just wanted to remind you guys that I am a pre-K to fourth grade reading tutor. And the name of my tutoring business is ABC Learn Tutoring. And if your child is struggling with confidence when it comes to their reading, if they're struggling with vowel teams, they're just, they're not quite getting how to connect the sounds to the letters, just those foundational skills that are needed so that they can become strong readers, I can most definitely help your baby. Please go to abclearntutoring.com and then click on that free reading assessment today. Shout out to my son, Ismail, because he just hooked my website up. Oh my goodness, please, y'all need to go check it out just to see the website alone. So really, really great job. And also I am the founder and executive director of ABC Read, which is a nonprofit organization that I started over 10 years ago. And our mission is to develop and nurture a culture of literacy in Black and underserved communities. And we do this by creating great reading programs that we like to call reading experiences. We also give out books that are culturally relevant, diverse, books that are for the family, new or gently used books, okay, to help build those home libraries. We have parent workshops, adult book clubs. We're about to start our new one, y'all. Oh, I'm so excited. Got the book right here, bam. Inshallah, God willing, y'all, this is about to be our new read, okay? Oh, y'all, oh my goodness. So, yes, go to abcread.org, okay, to check us out as well. And yes, we do always accept donations. And then please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Reading is Freedom, where of course the episodes of my podcast are also the read alouds are there. Our weekly read alouds that I do live stream is there as well. Okay. And just wanted to share with you guys, I always like to end with the books that I have read already or that I am reading. So one of the books, of course, I already showed you, Spare the Kids. That's the book I'm been going back and studying that book. Also, Self-Taught is another book that I've been reading by this sister, just talking about how our ancestors did everything that they could to try to learn how to read and be educated after they were struck with the demonic system of slavery, all right? And that's what I have for you guys. And let me share the quote with you all that I have, which is, to hold a people in oppression, you have to convince them first that they are supposed to be oppressed. And that came from Dr. John Henrik Clarke. Right. So with that being said, thank you all again for listening to another episode of Real Reading Talk. I am your most gracious host, Ms. Seisha. And with Real Reading Talk, I discuss the real systemic issues that at the very core, the very foundation as to why we have these high levels of illiteracy in our Black and underserved communities, and then the ways in which we can combat these issues together. Thank you all again for listening. And remember, read for at least 30 minutes a day, and reading is freedom. Peace.